She was in a burn rubber and making motors blow. So what the school asked her just how fast she liked to go. She said, how many cubes can she got where it counts? I told her 125 and she put my motor mounts. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod ain't enough for her. She lives straight up for. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. And I'm in my rod to pose. She's a hot rod whore. Well, she say no tough distance. Stroke the bank chest too. And a vulnerable and a positive tension returns her to go. That head now heck, you're really kind of head, buddy. Okay, well, wait. But a who's sitting under your hood? It's in the bag. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. She don't need to know your son. Just your token power. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Shining my rods up close. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod. She's the fastest thing boys have ever seen in high school auto shop. Just give her two double bumpers and a big old top hand that watch her roll a pretty little top. Wow, it's making you climb her down to drag strip. Forget about on that sand, just show her your time slip. Never put it up a quarter mile. She's so goddamn cute. If you don't watch it coming off the line, she'll make you pop your chute. She's a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. If you're right the first beat, it's guaranteed. You're from the sky with a hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Hot rod whore. Just finding out about the balls. She's a hot rod whore.
If you want to turn yourselves into a greasy spot on a country road somewhere, go right ahead. I don't give a shit, and I don't think anybody else does, regardless what they say to your face.
That's right. It is a new episode of Jeff's Garage tonight. It's been a while. Been working on a few things. I left my door open. And tonight, of course, I have Blaze, my guest, and we're going to be talking about that van life. The reason why,
Yes.
it's interesting. The announcement, I guess, for the night is you're actually contemplating living in a van down by the river.
Well, there's definitely some contemplation there. I would love to live the van life, but economically, I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. I might be able to.
Understood.
I'm still working on. But first thing is to find the van. And
Right.
Second, I think what I'm going to do, instead of just jumping straight into a van life, go ahead and get a van, set it up for van life, and use it for a camper. Take vacation time when I'm not working, and start like that first.
100%.
Take a couple weeks off, and then hit the Appalachian trails, and that way I can just pull over wherever I want, and just set up camp.
Well, and that's the kind of beauty of the van life, and I think you're doing it correctly. A lot of people, see people on YouTube and I live in a van and I drive all over the world, and yeah, if you got an income, great, you can do that.
So that's one thing.
Or
I've
following
noticed.
on YouTube where you make money.
Exactly. Like if there was a substantial amount of following where I can compensate gas and food, because that's really the big gas, food, insurance, cell phone bill for internet, shit like that. I'm gonna need.
Right.
I'm gonna need fucking quarters for the showers at truck stops and shit like that. I'll have a camper. I'll have a camp shower with me.
Right.
But there's gonna be times where I'm gonna want a nice
warm. 100%.
And I don't know if anybody stopped at these more modern truck stops like these Buc-ee's.
They're kind of dope.
And Loves. These showers are nice. So anyway.
Yeah.
But go back. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, starting with the van.
Yes.
And the van is you can turn pretty much anything. As you and I've discussed, you're thinking of one of my suggestions, which is the Chevy Astro minivan. 4.3 liter V6, plenty of power, not too terrible on gas. I saw one today. This guy, he's got a 2003 Astro minivan, and he built his own shell top. I'm going to send you
So-
that video because I think you'd get a kick out of it.
So,
But he's still getting
so-
20 miles to the gallon.
So I have watched a video. I think I have an example of a one with a high top. They're called high tops, and
Right.
there is a company that sells high tops specifically already made for some of these vans. So I am very heavily leaning toward a Chevy Astro van, anywhere from the late '90s to a bit to the early 2000s.
2003 was, I
around
think,
that.
the last one.
Yeah, and
Uh,
the one I want specifically is I want the extended Safari that has well, not the Safari, the extended cargo that's four-wheel drive or
Oh, they-
all-wheel.
Yeah. The Astro EXT. I actually had one back in high school. Whoa, and I loved it. You know, here actually I got a decent picture here of. I meant to have pictures ready.
Sorry, I have
Oh,
some websites loaded up to scroll through some
Understood.
stuff. So but go
Um,
ahead first.
This is an example of factory shell top or high top. You know,
Mhm.
I did see one guy. He actually the problem with the factory shell hard top pop-ups or whatever, they're hard to find.
Yeah.
So this one kid, what I watched, he actually, you know, he planned. Planning is key when building one of these out. But he planned, and then he actually took a Sawzall and cut the roof out.
yeah.
And then he built his own shell top. So he's got 6.5 feet. Now, my thought with that is that's a lot of height. For the simple fact, bridges. That was my first thought. I was like, what are you doing? You can do a bridge, dude.
So
he's
I
also
want to
got-
show. All right, I want to show a picture of one
Please,
that
go
has
ahead.
this is a high top one. It's just the exterior. This gentleman does have a video on YouTube you can go check out. I wasn't planning on actually doing videos, but where is
Understood.
this? All right, so that high top right there.
That's the guy. I
yeah,
just
so
watched that video.
Yeah, so this high top is he sleeps in the high top, and in the
Yeah.
front, in the front of it, he has an escape hatch. In the back, he has a window, and then on top, of course, he has one.
And he built that. That is
He
not like bought.
Yeah.
And he actually kind of, I think in his channel somewhere, he shows how he built it.
So the site
it's not
I'm
super hard.
on, the site I'm on is on buildcampovans.com, and they
Oh,
have
cool.
plans, and so this is kind of like where he was going with it. So there's one I actually like. All right, so this right here is a module setup, which I kind of dig, but to me, that bed just doesn't look comfortable. While I was going through some of these, all right, this one right here I like. This one, the guy.
I'm still seeing the computer van, the computer with the pop up, the Volkswagen.
Oh,
It's a
really?
Volkswagen. Yeah. Make sure you're sharing the right screen at the top of your
I am.
screen. Yeah. Because I'm literally just seeing where it says the van conversion mystery corpse.
Oh, I'm
Course,
sorry. I'm
course.
sorry. What,
Can't speak.
which one? Let's go to that one. They should have closed out. That sucks. I thought it would just go through the Chrome tabs.
It doesn't. You should have a button above the StreamYard thing that actually says show this tab instead of the other one. No, you know, one thing I watched a couple of these van builds and because there are hundreds. And the one thing I realized very quickly, yes, I like that shiplap.
So okay, so this is
yeah.
a cargo van. So you got no
Mhm.
windows on the outside, which is what I kind of wrestled with it for a while. I went ahead and settled on a cargo van because I
Okay.
can easily insulate the sides with like
Correct.
Wyotech or whatever. And a lot of people who are building theirs out with wood are using cedar planking because it's flexible and lightweight. And then they're using this these floating floor vinyl panels, which are pretty
Yeah.
inexpensive. And for the square footage, I mean, the very low square footage, you're probably going to spend about 25.
Maybe. Yeah, you're gonna spend a little under, maybe a little over $100.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
my
something
biggest thing is, so this bed right here,
ahead.
this bed right here, I want to explain it. This bed, each other slat is attached to the
Yeah.
back, and then every
It
other
extends
slat is
out.
attached to this front. You lift this up, and if you have this front paneled in, you can have storage if you hinge it. But if you don't hinge it, you lift up, and this slides out to extend, and this is where you would put your bed. The mattresses I'm looking at now are like trifold mattresses.
Okay.
That way I can fold it out full length and probably get it custom made. And then when I button it up, I can fold it into like
and have it like a couch.
exactly.
Well, and that's what I realized something today. I was thinking about something today, and you can plan all you want, but when you build it out, the one thing you're going to want to do instead of, I don't recommend using nails, and here's why. You're going to change stuff to make it, oh wow, this would be more convenient if I had this. So you have to, it's a continuous build out kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
you want to be able to readjust.
So yes, and I thought about doing that. Like, see, I think I'm gonna go with like lightweight, sort of like building material instead of full wood all the place. I think I'm gonna accent, like do the walls and the ceiling with cedar, but I think a lot of the other stuff I want to use something a little bit more modular because it's more lightweight. Because I was thinking, I see these guys build these elaborate build outs here. Let me go back to the.
Oh yeah, and they look like they're 5,000 pounds of stuff.
Yeah. So like you got this one right here. Is it this one? Oh, shoot. Here's a good example. So you see this, you see all this wood, this pull out. You see a lot of these where the whole back is like all pull out, and you got the bed on top. They have the like kitchen, and I see all these. I'm like, all this wood going into it, and I'm thinking to myself,
a lot of weight.
The amount of weight you're adding is you're only killing your MPG. And I'm like, the whole point of me doing this is try to make it affordable as possible.
However, that van that you first showed, that guy states in his video that he gets 20 miles per gallon.
Yes. So
with that giant pop-up that he made.
Yeah,
it is about as aerodynamic as a cinder block.
Yeah, but it's not all wood. It's sheet metal and I want to say fiberglass.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well,
he used
like a fiber board.
Yeah. Then you have something,
and that's something else. Like the slide outs. I don't know what else you would use other than wood. I mean, I would do like a wood base, but then I would build like fiberglass sides.
So and then you got what I'm doing right now is I'm going through a lot of different ones and I'm picking out what I like about them, what I want to see online.
Right.
And this right here, I kind of like this idea, converting the top into a pop-up.
The only issue I have with that is if it gets cold, that canvas is not going to keep you very warm.
This is true. This is very true.
That's where I like the you need to watch the video. The guy who first sent that video, he actually recommended for you and I talked about swivel seats for the driver and passenger seat.
Yeah.
He actually went to a Tractor Supply and bought swivel seats, and he said they were like $25 a piece. He said he added a couple extra bolts so that they, a little bit more sturdy. But I like the swivel seat idea, and he has a really cool setup for his table. He's got kind of like a fixed couch, kind of like what you were showing, but then he's got like an aluminum pole that comes up like a Z shape, and then the table sits on top of it, and he can move it. He's got where he can sit 4 people, or he's got it set up so he's got a desk and can work at the passenger seat. I
did watch that video, and I do like that setup. So that's what I was kind of thinking. I was thinking about sitting up the back of my van with where I have like my kitchen stuff.
Right, kind of like he does.
Yeah, I don't want to so much have a pull out drawer because I'm trying to go with less weight as possible.
Right.
So I was thinking about having where you open up the door, having a flip out cabinet, because the way these Astrovans open up, the back hatch goes up and the two doors slide flip out in the back.
Well, there's two different types of Astrovan, depending on the year you buy.
Fair.
What you're talking about is the Dutch door version. The Dutch
The
door
Dutch door.
version has a hatch and two mini
Mhm.
doors. The
Yeah.
one I had an 87. Granted, this
Mhm.
was forever. I'm sorry, mine was an 86, where it had just two double doors. I actually wanted to recommend tonight that you actually get the Dutch door version because you can literally just open the hatch and not have to open the whole doors. I do like
Yeah.
that convenience.
Yeah. So So what I want to do is I want to set up the back in to where I have like my kitchen area. I got a pop up table to where I could put a 2-burner gas stove on there,
Mhm.
and then what I want to store is. Hold on, let me go back to a picture because I want to show something.
Go ahead, because I found something I wanted to show you, and I gotta find a decent picture of it.
So
Uh,
so I will
go ahead.
have a solar panel, and I'm from what I understand about 100 watts to 200 watts, perfect. If you see in this picture right here, yeah,
The inverter on
so
his video.
you have your inverter, you have your fuse panel, and where I decide to put this in the van's up to me, but this is pretty
Right.
much going to be the layout. This right here, back in the way, is his lithium battery that's charged by the solar, or he hooked it up to where you can also charge it off the alternator of the van. You just got to
When
flip the switches.
something else is really cool on that same guy's video, he's got it's a boat converter where it's the little yellow, it looks like a DeWalt charger, but he has it wired through the floor where you can hook up an extension cord to it and take power from a house and charge your
Yes.
battery from it too. I
Yes,
did like
yes.
that setup he had. I was like, that's cool. I've never seen that before.
I think having all three of those options is the best way to go. Just
Agreed.
depending on what situation you find yourself in.
Exactly.
So again, I wanted the kitchen area in the back. It'll get built up eventually. The bed I want to keep a little over a twin size, not a full size, but not just a twin, because across from the bed area, I want to kind of like this is kind of set up. Like
Mhm.
I want to have like one side. Eventually, I do want to have a little sink compartment. I'm not going to go elaborate like this, but a little bit of storage. Have other camping
Well,
gear, hiking gear.
You and I
Fun
were
stuff.
talking about sinks the other day,
Mhm.
and I found something, and I think you might want to look into these. These are flip-up sinks where it doesn't
Yeah.
have a drain in it, and
I was gonna do a bar drop-in sink. I'm gonna have it
Okay.
I'm gonna have to where it drains from the bottom. Like I can just open up the reservoir and dump the shit in a gray water appropriate
Right.
place. But for drinking water and washing water, or just for water, I'm gonna have a couple of 5-gallon jugs on hand, and I'm gonna
Right.
get one of those electric pumps, and I'm gonna set the pump up right next to the sink so it draws up just like a faucet.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but the beauty of something I noticed, I watched a guy, and you were talking about beds. I watched a guy the other day. He built his bed, like the mattress. And what he did was he actually went and got it's like a foam mattress. And he actually just went and got super foam, and it's all foam. And that way he built it to the size he needs.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of those fridge cooler things too. Those are cool.
now, I'm showing a picture of one right here.
Right.
This thing you can plug directly into your electrical system from the solar panel or that lithium battery. You can tell
Right.
this is his inverter up here on this setup. This is and this right here is where he put his water, and this is the faucet that I'm kind of talking.
Okay.
But these things right here, there's different brands, but it's basically a plug-in cooler, but it's a fridge, and some of them you can get where it has a freezer compartment that actually keep your ice cream frozen.
Well, yeah.
So-
Well, here's the actually the one video, one guy, he was saying he's like, I can literally keep like a gallon of ice cream in here and never have to work.
Yeah.
Even when the power, like if you, there's another video I want to send you. The guy's van is not built, like it's not built anything remotely what you're looking for, but his electrical setup is the part that I want you to see, because he has a switch, and something I would of course recommend for you is upgrading the alternator. Get an alternator that you would put on, like if you're going to have a massive stereo.
So
Because
yes, I was already.
And while you're driving,
was,
charge your batteries too.
Yeah, absolutely. I was already planning on doing it. That's
Yeah.
I mean, and you know this, doing stereo, when you start doing like adding more electronics to your to a factory setup, you're gonna want to beef up that alternator.
Oh yeah.
In it, a lot of times. Okay, so another reason why I'm picking the Astrovan is because of parts. They're
They're
old
a dime a
enough.
dozen.
They're a dime a dozen. They're simple little 4.3 6-banger engines. They get decent gas mileage. I'm not going to put too much, I'm not going to ask too much more than I need from it. And
Now you were talking about the 4-wheel drive system.
Yes.
I found out that the biggest lift you can put on one is about 5-inch. I don't necessarily recommend for that for you.
I was going to go 4.
Right. I don't see you like trying to cross a mountain in this thing. But
No.
he did the same guy that had the 5-inch lift. He also had a 3-inch hockey pucks body lift.
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to put a 33-inch tire on it, which is huge.
For some reason, I can't get some of these fucking pictures to come up.
Odd. There's a lot of ways, like you also talked about doing, like for your income, is getting an e-bike.
Mm-hmm.
And that same guy you showed that van, he's got a kind of a weird setup for his bicycle that it hooks to a Reese hitch. Now, Reese hitch on an Astrovan, it's like a guarantee almost.
So I am going to put a hitch on it because I do want to be able to tow a boat at times or something, just in case I need to tow something, or again, you can add those bike racks that flip down or flip over and shit like that. So, okay, so here is this picture. Creepy van guy.
Well, and the beauty of the Astrovan is that, yes, they are. I'm just seeing an ad, by the way. There it is. Ooh, I like that. That looks like a cabin in the woods.
So this is another thing. I kind of like the homey feel. Like I like the cozy feel of that. This is one reason why I do like the wood, which is why I want to at least keep the cedar planking for the ceiling and the sides. Because I mean, you can look at a spice rack. See, this is the kind of sink setup I'm kind of talking about, like a drop-in bar sink. Yeah. So this is This is right behind the driver's seat.
Glick mentioned just now the biggest fear about owning one of these vans, especially like that one. That one's all white. You look like a creepy guy that says free candy. However,
I don't know if I saw this van with the high top and the bike on the back.
Understandably.
The dude's an explorer, not a PDF file.
Right. And however, there are a whole there's the whole subculture of back in the 70s, guys used to, do up vans and stuff. So you can go nuts with an Astrovan when it comes to paint. I'm just saying, buddy, maybe not that, but you can make it look cool. So you don't have to worry about giving out that pedo vibe.
I was never worried about that. Don't worry.
And you know what? That's like the last thing I thought of too. When you said I want to live in a van, I was like, hey, I get it, dude. I don't think that's a vibe that kind of gets thrown around. dude, you know what looks really cool for a check that
This
out.
one.
That's an
Yeah.
Astro. That's not
It is.
bad. I mean,
And
it's
that's okay,
plain,
so
it's simple.
with the lift and the tires, that's kind of the way I want my setup on the outside.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the paint of the wrapper, but
Well-
yeah, I want it lifted. I want it all-wheel, four-wheel drive.
Yeah. And like I was telling you when you and I first started talk about these, they're based on the Chevy S10. The Astrovan is now I wouldn't recommend it for somebody that has more than one person living in the van, unless like it was you and your 10-year-old kid, which would kind of be weird, but like, or maybe you and your girlfriend or something like that. But any more than two people, it's going to get tight. So you're going to have to jump up to a bigger van.
Yeah. So this right here, like, I like this. I like
do too.
It's clean. It's wood. Like, it looks like a lot of wood, but it doesn't look like too much where it's too heavy because a lot of the cedar's pretty light.
Well,
And
not
this
only
bed
that, you can get shiplap, which is what they use for boats. Which is it's cedar and it's almost you know what would be really good, depending on how rough you are on it for the walls, balsa wood. Balsa wood shiplap. It weighs nothing.
Well, I was planning on I live in a rural area and there's a lot of old barns and shit. There are always people trying to sell old wood and shit. I was thinking about going that route, reclaimed wood. So I just want to point out
a rustic feel.
Yes. So this fan up here, these are Max fans. They're like on RVs and whatnot. For a decent one, you can get these for about 150 to 200 bucks for a decent one. You look at your solar panels for a 100-watt solar panel. Like these are prices on Amazon. Again, you're looking about 150 bucks. You only need one. Apparently, one 100-watt solar panel is enough for your fridge, your lighting. Because all these lights and stuff is usually plugged in all into that.
Well, not only that, if you run like honestly, I would look into LED strips because they don't use a ton of power and they're stupid bright.
Oh yeah, and I was definitely I mean, I like the circle lighting, but I think I would also like some LED strips just for more lighting if it's at night. Have somebody in there and
well, and like you can buy those LED strips and you buy those by the roll, and then they're customizable. They're super simple to shorten or add another set together. And like you being going to be mostly by yourself, of course you're going to need a TV. The one guy I saw, he actually took I don't know how he did it. I think he was kind of a techie guy because his electrical setup was set up better than anybody I've ever seen. But he also used a laptop screen, and there was no rest of the laptop connected to it that goes to his phone. That's actually a decent setup.
So I was thinking either a flip down TV screen, because I'll definitely have my laptop with me, or both of them, where I can just plug that straight into the screen. What's up, Shaka? What's up, Brian?
What's up, boys?
And then I've been thinking about, we were talking about this with Shaka the other day, projector, and having a pull down screen, and somewhere maybe I can fix it anywhere I want, and even to take it outside.
Not a terrible idea.
And even take it outside if I want. Set the awning up. Set the up. You know what I mean?
That's actually, I didn't think of that. That would be great because
you
can literally connect it to your phone, and rock it out. That's actually not a terrible. And so you're also using less space. You're going to use less electricity. Now you and I talked about Starlink for internet. Yeah. However, Starlink is super expensive for the actual equipment.
Okay, you know how we were talking about doing this in phases? Start with like just a camper van, and before moving into a full-time van. Like, see, that's stuff I need to take into consideration. Like, I'll just have my cell phone in the beginning, maybe get a mobile Wi-Fi subscription on top of that. But I am gonna find myself in places where I'm not going to have any cell reception,
Right.
and that's fine. I have in the past on some of my camping trips, and I'm okay. Usually when I put myself in that position, I usually let someone know, but I'm
Right.
going to
Well,
be outside.
the other thing, I think it's kind of, I don't know how goofy it sounds, but something you might want to look at getting is a CB as well.
Oh
Like
yeah,
you're not going to use it all the time, but
yes,
you
I'll
get
have a
yourself a CB, set it up.
Yeah, I'll have a CB. Yeah, I'll have all that shit. I mean,
Right.
I'll go a little and that's fine. I mean, I'm not gonna go like a tin can and string, but I mean, yeah, I'll have a
Right.
CD radio. I'll probably have one mounted to the vehicle, and then I'll also have a handheld one for emergencies too.
Right. Well, not even for emergencies. It's literally like if, God forbid you get stuck, you'd be like, hey, is anybody out here? You could be able to get a hold of a ranger station. But the beauty of the whole van life thing is, and you and I talked about this, is like you talked about going to Alaska in the van.
Yeah.
And going from Alaska over to Russia is not that hard. It's a small, short boat ride, so you could literally take the van across the world. I don't know what the regulations would be on that. But
this setup isn't too bad. It's
that's actually a super simple.
It is.
That's super simple. You did mention earlier on when we talked about it getting the van with the curtains. I like that. The setup he did. Those are suction cup
blackout
blackouts. That's actually not a terrible idea. Like if you can't find the cargo van, because you were talking about a projector, you get that in white on one side and black on the other. Because most vans, so you got you got your little screen indoors. That's not a terrible idea either. Or you could even have a small drop down in your ceiling that is just a piece of board painted white and smoothed everything. So you have a drop down screen and your projector on a little stand, rocking that out. Of course,
so the more I look at these, like what people do, the room, like these Astrovans, once you tear all the interior out, you actually have a decent amount of room to work with. It's like a fucking 4-man tent almost. I mean, bigger than that, really.
Yeah. And the storage, I like that setup.
That's just a clean little weekend getaway camper.
Yeah. But I like the setup where the table becomes the bed, because he drops that leg and the whole thing drops down. That would be a cool setup, because then you got storage and your table, desk. I do like the idea of the swivel van, or the swivel seats better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I would definitely put a swivel seat on the passenger side. That is definitely a thing, because I like the idea of swinging around and having that table that comes back and forth. So this
not
is
only that, you're going to run into other van life people. Then you can be like, hey, you want to come over for dinner?
Van camp out.
So you can actually stop at campgrounds too.
So this is the Astrovan gutted out with just trimmed with the panel and the flooring. And the room you have in there, you can actually do quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Well, the Astro minivan is actually built to hold a 4x8 sheet of plywood perfectly.
Interesting.
I know, because I used to do it. So you got a good in between the wheel wells. You have 4 feet. So that's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really cool setup. I like that. Ooh, I like that one.
See, this one's definitely got a high top.
I like that. Yeah, that's a high top.
See,
high top sounds like a little bit of extra work.
But it seems like it's worth it.
Oh yeah, it does look worth it. That far one on the left here.
This one?
That's kind of cool setup.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's a big drawer.
Yeah. I think the back.
You know what? Something we were talking about sliders. You might want to talk to guys that do duct work, and they can build you one, and then you line it with Dynamat, so it doesn't rattle. And it'll
This
save you some weight
motherfucker-
and give you some strength. That's a setup. That dude's got a
So
microwave, dude.
God damn it, fucking! I just want to bring up the picture.
He's got a microwave and a whole setup. Is that a waterbed?
No, it's not a waterbed.
But it's built in.
But-
It's solid.
I do like the microwave. You know, this is like his kitchen. This is one of those mini fridges that
Mhm.
works. You
But
can
that's
tell
not an
this.
Astro van.
It's not.
That's not an
it's
Astro.
not
No,
No,
that's
this
a
is like
Chevy
a
conversion van.
Astro van conversion into your Chevy Astro. No, this is an Astro.
It says it's an Astro, but those back doors scream full size van.
Yeah, that's a good point. But still, I mean, other van builds gives me ideas. So.
Well, yeah, and that's the beauty of it. You know, the research has been done. It's all about setting it up for you.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like an Astro van either. That looked like a Dodge Caravan.
That looks fun.
That looks that is very hippie-ish.
Yeah.
That dude's got some sriracha going on and everything.
I
No,
saw it.
the-
This is dope.
That's
You
one
can
of
tell
those
This
Dutch doors.
slides out. Yeah, I don't know how I like the idea with the sink being like right here. I'm afraid I get a lot of water on the bed that way.
Well, the only thing your sink is literally just to wash your hands and the one dish, one fork, one knife that you use.
This is
You know what I
true.
mean? You know, you're not doing 400 pieces of wow, that's a setup.
I know. I'm like, this is kind
Oh,
of space
shit.
age.
That looks like it was done in the 70s, built in the 70s from the factory, and then
It was like a
refurbished.
concept thing. Yeah. Like I dig this
That's
right
really cool.
here.
I
Yeah.
do too. The
Pretty
one
cool.
guy, the video I sent you earlier, he actually built. You remember what a rollaway desk or the rollaway desk or like the bread basket desk that it actually the wood is you do slots of wood.
Are you
And
talking about the
they're
old
in a track.
Are you talking about the post office desk where it goes where
Yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
slides? Yeah.
He actually did that on some of his cabinets. So it actually rolls around the back and then he's got everything in it. That way it's a really neat setup. I've seen a lot of vans where people build them out and they look like shit because they don't know tools or they don't know how to build it. Or they're building it too fast for their skill level. But if you're taking your time and doing it, as long as it looks nice and it has everything you need, that's actually kind of cool.
I see. All right, so this is what I kind of have in my head, except the
Mhm.
back has more of the where I would cook. But
Right.
I kind
Well,
of dig.
Are you
this
gonna
setup.
do a setup where you can cook from the back doors or from inside the van at the same time?
See, I think it's safer if I cook outside, but if it's raining and shit, I want to be able. I want the option to cook inside. So
That's-
it's where I can set up because I'm gonna have like a portable burner. I'm not gonna have like a
Right.
permanent one.
So you're not
it's
gonna have
where
a
I can-
permanent setup. Okay.
Yeah. So if I have to cook on a countertop, that's fine. But I also want to be able to where I can do it outside.
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
not like you're making stir fry, dude. You're tossing stuff. Once again, 90% of the time when you're going to be cooking, you're going to make a grilled cheese or you're going to make soup or you're going to make, you're not going to be making a 10-course meal where you're going to have to worry about burning the van down. So,
No.
and just like when you were talking about the sink placement, the only issue I have with a permanent sink location
Hmm.
is it makes it harder to change later on. You know what I mean? Like you have to build a whole new setup just to move your
Yeah.
sink over 6 inches, which is could be a pain in the butt. But something I was thinking about, what you should do is you get a layout of the Astro van
Hmm.
like so. And this is, if it'll let me show this, I just quickly just typed in Chevy Astro van layout, and this is the layout. Is 118, 50 inches in between the wheel wells, 56 all the way to the sliding door, and is 118 long. That's your standard setup for that. That is not the extended version. I think the extended version is extra 6 inches. So that's
Brian, I'm not sure.
This,
Oh,
you could take this and you print it out
I
on a
don't
piece of
see.
paper.
I didn't see anything that you showed. And you've been
Right
frozen the entire time, or
I
I've
know.
been frozen. So you're frozen right now. Let me close
Oh.
some of these windows.
It might be because you have so many things open.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything you're saying.
This link is cool. Okay. Oh,
I don't know
think
what
Brian
link
sent
you're
the link.
talking about.
Or maybe not. But if you
I
did a project in school when I was like 10, where I measured my room, and then I drew that room on a piece of paper, and to scale, I measured my bed and then made it to scale to fit the room. So you could set everything up in there and say, okay, wow, I don't have a lot of space like this. You can move around before you even drive a nail or glue in a board. You know exactly how, and you can kind of move stuff around. That would be the way I would recommend to actually start laying it out. Maybe not the big stuff.
Yeah,
the
you
wiring-
can get. Yeah, so what I will do, and I've done this for projects in the past, is get
That's the layout.
get something like that, and I can overlay that on grid paper,
Right.
and I can sit there and I can draw out and convert feet to inches or what I need to, or
Right.
centimeters.
And,
I
and
do
the
want to show
beauty of-
this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I just want to show this in me looking at stuff. Oh, God dang it! This computer.
I'll take your time.
My toolbar popped up.
Oh,
I found this thing, and I think this was made. These are like these Tiger conversions. This is a conversion for an Astro van. I don't know if it's showing yet.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like a pop-up that, like, do you bolt that to the van?
Well, if you look at the camper door, no, this is like a full conversion.
Oh, wow.
Like,
I didn't even
yeah.
notice. I'm staring
Yeah.
right at it. I didn't notice the camper door. I
Yeah,
like
and it's
that.
an Astro van, but it's a full out. I mean, it's a full exterior conversion too.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah.
However, do they got a price? Because I guarantee you it's a pretty penny.
Well, see, this thing was made. All right, so these things have been made for a while, like from the '80s and shit.
Yeah.
So
I think 84
I
was
don't-
when the Astro
I
first
don't
came.
know. See, here's another Tiger.
That's
like,
cool.
This is yeah.
That's
So
cool.
this is an '88. You can buy these used.
Right.
This is with the camper top down.
That's actually really kind of cool because, the beauty of something like that is you don't have to do any layout. It's already done. You get in and go.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I might want to update it.
Yeah, reupholster, things
some
like that.
updated technology. I mean, like rip this out, maybe put in a more up-to-date stovetop.
You know what I would do? I'd rip that stove out, put it in a chop block, and then do your camp stove like you were talking about. That
There
way
you
you have
go,
counter
yeah.
space, and you can
Yeah.
remove your.
The cool thing about these drop-in bar sinks that you can buy is they'll
Mhm.
come with a wooden, like a grate to put on top, and then that
Right.
wooden top, so you have like shelf.
It extends your
counter
extends your
Yeah.
counter stuff on. Yeah.
But
That
if
is
I
actually
can
a really
find
cool
something
setup.
like, I know if I can find something like this for sale, pretty decent. I mean, that's not.
Well, the
bad.
problem is if it's running and it's working, I guarantee you're not the only one looking for one.
No.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna. Unfortunately, it'll be priced out of your market. It's gonna be priced. And because the 4.3 liter Chevy V6 is one of the most reliable Chevy engines ever built. Like those.
Yeah. So
The motors and
So I was
transmissions,
looking at
they're
that.
perfect.
Like those engines, man, they're good for 300,000 plus
Without even
if you
thinking
take
about
care of them. And I've been finding some of them with like 88,000, 180,000 on them. I'm like, and this is like, early 2000s. I'm like, and I'm finding them for like $4,000 or so. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not bad.
No,
And then
because I mean, if you were to buy a house or buy an apartment, you're spending $200,000-300,000
yeah.
at the,
I
and that's
figured-
like a down payment.
I figured, get one for about 4,000 or 5,000. It runs. You might have to update, maybe replace the rubber. But I was going to end up doing that anyway because I was going to
And
put a lift
bushings.
on it, get bigger wheels, and all that shit. So I mean, I think with doing
Well, that was going to be my next question.
I could probably get away with a project
10 grand?
under 10 grand. Under 10 grand.
That's what I was thinking. I was actually doing the math on this. And with you doing if you're doing reclaimed wood.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm having bad internet. All I'm hearing is robot voice. Yeah, I'm getting like, what was that?
I was saying, if you do with reclaimed wood too, I mean, you can get your budget just dropped by like $1,000 right there.
I heard something about budget dropping $1,000
with reclaimed wood.
Yeah, dude, it's.
We're almost done. So when it comes to building one of these vans, and I think Blaze might have to re-pop back up because he's having Biden bars. Obviously your budget's going to come into it. Your skill level of building it out is going to be important. And then of course,
yeah. All right.
There you go. I was saying if with you adding reclaimed wood to the project, your budget's going to drop a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because you'll be able to find somebody like you know what you might even look at, like during garage sale season, look at chests of drawers and stuff that you can kind of modify to fit in. So you're gonna, when you're mocking this thing up or building it out, you get a decent chest of drawers that's built well, not IKEA shit. But like if somebody I built this in high school and that was 40 years ago, but it's solid as a rock. You can pick it up for a song and a dance and modify it by cutting the legs off or bolting it next to something and gain a bunch of storage. I think when it comes to building one of these, it's all coming down to your skill level and budget. Like if you can't drive a hammer and nail, you can't put those three things together, hammer, nail, and wood, you're fucked.
Yeah, so I mean, besides going with the high top, it'll be a pretty simple build.
It doesn't have to be crazy.
No, it doesn't. And I think I've seen some of these where people turn these into camper vans for like $100 and they're buying like a cot and a fucking roll mat and shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that cheap.
Well, as you said, it could be a process. If you build out the walls one weekend and then you save up a bunch of money for the next 2 weeks and then you throw in, I'm going to throw in I'm going to buy my inverter. I mean, you build it out as a project. And then once you get it set up where you can kind of go out on the road, I'm going to go test it out this weekend. I don't like the way this cook setup is done. So I'm going to change it up when I get back home.
Yeah.
Kind of testing the product as you go.
That's true. Well, see, another thing I was thinking, like people renovate their houses. They tear old flooring and walls and shit out, and they usually toss it. I could probably get my flooring that way. It might have a couple scuff marks, but I mean, it's a camper van.
Well, it's another thing. If you get if somebody's ripping out their old wood flooring, you're going to end up sanding it anyways because you got to put it all back together. Yeah. And you could probably get it for free because they're like, hey, you take it and get rid of it. And you got the van, throw it in the fucking van and take it home, And
it did. I mean, it's such a small space to work with. You don't need, it's not going to be a whole lot of money.
And once you get to the point where, let's say you got the van, you're built out exactly the way you want it, and then you figured out the monetary gain of how am I going to live on this, then you can upgrade the van and you get another better van, and work your way up to those crazy people. Like I watched the one guy, he took an old school bus and turned it into an apartment. And I was like, okay, but
see that I might do sometime and just like park it in an RV lot right there and just live. But
well, him and
now, when
he's
it
like
comes to
20.
these-
Him and his girlfriend live in this thing 24/7 now.
when it comes to yes, and I've seen some really nice ones, and I would do it myself.
Oh yeah.
I have seen. All right, so all these little Astrovan projects, though, or even if you do another van conversion, there is a lot of these YouTube videos that show you how to build to spec to fit in whatever, like an Astrovan, like that slat bed. Like there's a couple videos that show you the exact specs for whatever your Astrovan you're building to overcome that wheel well
online are
shit.
endless.
So.
The ideas
the
are
ideas-
endless online as
But
well.
there's actual measurements and plans and stuff you can find for free too, like that wooden shelf or those countertops, to where it just
Okay.
bolts right into that Astrovan, like specific plans for a 2000 Astrovan camper. So
You know what? I know it sound. I always bring it up every time I do anything, but something you might look into. Get yourself a 3D printer, buddy, because you can get some. Because you were talking about saving weight, you can make all your brackets. Like if you're going to add like a shelf, you could 3D print the bracket and it weighs a quarter of what a real one, what another, and it costs less.
I
But not only that, like cup holders.
I think I'd rather pay somebody to 3D print them because I don't want to carry.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. Well, now 3D printers, you can get one that they got the M1 Mini. It's literally this big. It's about the size of a coffee maker. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
But that is pretty much the end of the show tonight. Don't forget bio.link/nonsensical network. We forgot to do that today. Where you can find all our links to all the shows we do. Tomorrow is What the Fuck News. I got a couple of stories coming up, including an update on the drones. I know what's going on.
Oh, geez, the drones. I am so.
Actually, I didn't even know about it. I didn't know about it.
Fed up with stupid people looking at constellations like, what are stars? Oh no, they're aliens.
No, but like I didn't even know about the drones until Chris brought it up. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? I haven't been online in like a week. But yeah, tomorrow, and then as you know, it is Tuesday. This Thursday, we were going to do this show on Thursday, but Glick's guest for Glick's Housing Music was going to be tonight, but they had to reschedule for Thursday, so it will be there then. Don't forget, once again, at the bio.link, you can go to our nonsensical-nonsense.myspreadshop.com, and we need to add a blanket so you can get a blanket for the van, dude.
Oh yeah, the way I decorate it, absolutely. I do want to comment on the next 2 weeks, starting next week and the week after with.
Oh yes, please.
New Year's Eve falls in the middle of the week. I think it's like Wednesday and Thursday Eve in the day next week.
Yeah.
Which is usually What the Fuck News and this show on Thursday. So, be patient with us. I don't know if there's going to be What the Fuck News on New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve.
We haven't really. I don't think we've nailed it down yet. Just because the holidays are such a pain in the ass for not only for everything.
I'm not a big Christmas guy, so I was planning on doing a stream, maybe just for a little bit, just for shits and giggles.
We might do that. I might.
Yeah, call it the humbuggery stream or some shit like that. I don't know. Happy fucking humbug day. I don't know. Something anti-Christmas for your anti-Christmas.
Yeah. But thanks for everybody watching. Thanks for everybody listening. The van life, man. I if I was a single man, like you are, and I didn't have like your kids are grown, and if my kids were grown and I was single, oh man, I'd be in the van life too.
Dude, I have I have an itch to wonder. So
You know, and that's the whole concept of the van life. Like, I get it. I'm kind of an introvert, but an introvert with a vehicle, I'm in.
oh, I can be an introvert in a camper van in the middle of
Well, and
woods,
that's the
so I'm
thing is
fine
like,
with that.
and that's not to go into a whole nother tangent, but I actually saw online the other day for like $3 to $5 grand. Well, it's for a small car, but you can actually put the van on a cargo boat. You get on the cargo boat, and then you're in Europe.
I'm cool with
you-
shit like that. Yeah,
Rocking
If you guys
out
wanna pay
Europe,
for it,
dude.
sure.
Well, no, but like you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it would work DoorDash wise, like your monetary
Mhm.
getting around that, but like you go to Europe, and next thing you know, you go from France, and then you're in Germany, and you go, you know, I'm telling you, I think the best thing you could do would be starting a YouTube channel and just do a vlog. Get enough followers, it just pays for itself.
If I can do that, see, that's, you know what? I could probably do that like on those camping trips. And if I get enough
Right.
following and enough fun, I can just stop working and reel
Yeah.
on that.
Because
Absolutely.
like, you know, be like, holy cow, we're at the Grand Canyon, the van's working great, look at that view, you know. And there's a girl who's, I think she started in California. Now the difference is she's a hot chick, you're a chubby stoner. It's not the same
hot
look.
chick. I'm not a hot
And
chick.
you know, her video intro shows her in a bikini showering
Chubby
out of the back of
stoner.
her van.
I'm a dad bod stoner, thank you. very
Well,
much.
yeah, but she's a hot chick in a bikini showering behind her van. We don't
I
want to
can wear
see
a
you do
bikini.
that.
You know Brian wants to see
Mankini.
a bikini, don't
Get
you?
the mankini. Get the mankini out there. You never know.
Mansplain and the
But she started out by building her van on her YouTube channel over the course of like 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks or something like that. And she got enough followers to the point where she lives in the van full time. And she's been
Good for
from
her.
LA, New York, she's been to Alaska, Florida, the whole 9 yards. And I'm like,
And there's
Good
some
on
dudes who do it too. I know this dude in
Yeah.
a box band that does it. Yeah.
dude, that's the setup. That's cool. If you could afford the gas on a box truck. But that's for another show. Don't forget, everybody, tomorrow, WTF News. And of course, on Saturday is Glick's House of Music, or sorry, Thursday this week is Glick's House of Music. He's interviewing some couple people. And let's see her channel. Fucking Brian. Perv. But till next time.
Friday night, Scrooged.
Get out there and build something. That's right. Scrooge, Friday night. Oh, by the way, I found with my VPN, I found a couple of different things where I can actually stream it.
All right,
Without-
when we end,
Yeah.
let me know. Okay, cool.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Nonsensical network, different flavor every day. Movie talks, new flicks hitting the display. Microphone magic, musicians spill the praise. From reptiles to motorsports, burning rubber craze. Football clashes, touchdowns, epic plays. News spinning, catching on the latest phase. Gleaming cars, engines roaring up the pace. Street tales, urban stories we embrace. Tune in, every week diverse. Groove to the beats, let the rhythm immerse. Lyrics flowing, ciphers full of verse. Nonsensical network, feel the universe. Interviews buzzing, stars in the circuit. Worlds a tapestry, pieces we interpret. Hip-hop to rap, the flow never stagnant. Reptilian tales, nature's arrangement. Cars with muscle, engines with might. Motorsports roaring, speed in the night. Discussions heated, always a delight. Network of nonsense, but the vibe's just right. Tune in, wait for that beat. Flow so seamless, feeling so sweet. Urban grooves, rhythm from the street. Nonsensical network, always on repeat.